Hey guys, hope everybody's doing good today. So the year was 1986, right? And I had just finished sixth grade in Arizona and was on my way with my family moving to Southern California. So my best friend at the time, he was really bummed that I was moving away, and so he made me a copy of a cassette tape to listen to on the move out, and that particular tape happened to be Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz. And I really hadn't listened to Ozzy's music before, and although, I'd heard it in passing, I never really seriously listened to it, and I never seriously listened to Blizzard of Oz. Of course, it had been released in 1980, so I would have been 5 years old at the time. So, serious music listening really wasn't on my radar at that time. So during the move, riding shotgun in a Ryder moving truck, my dad was like, "Hey, he was like trying to be a cool dad because, I was like moving away from my friends and stuff at kind of a critical point, going to be starting junior high, that sort of thing. So he's like, listen to whatever you want on the radio in the Ryder truck." And plus, as you're going up and down the mountain roads and stuff from Arizona to California, you really can't get very good radio reception. So popped in the tape, listened to it many times over. It was a great album. We ended up both getting tired of it, though, as you would, riding in that long of a car ride. It was more of a bumpy, slow ride in a moving truck. And so this was like my first serious listen to what would become like one of my lifelong passions of like metal and punk music, and really all music for that matter, aside from, pop music of like Casey Kasem's Top 40. And, we would all sit there and record directly off of the radio to cassette so we could listen to the hits that we liked and stuff afterwards. And so arriving in Southern California, I pretty much started my journey into thrash metal and punk rock, and I never really went back to Ozzy's music till I decided that I wanted to learn play guitar pretty much like a year later. And back behind me you'll see that is the second guitar that I ever owned. It's a Epiphone Les Paul, and I still have it, and it still plays magnificent. It's one of the Korean models, so has a really nice sound to it. So anyways, during this time, I was like a sponge listening to pretty much everything and trying to play what I heard. And so my dad also had a record collection at the time. And so I would look through it, and he had a lot of Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix records. So I would record those onto cassette so I could listen to them in my room and practice guitar and practice playing along and learn different things. And he also had Black Sabbath's Paranoid. Okay, so he had bought that in, I'm assuming, 1970 when it came out. And so quite a few years later, his record player broke, and he had already switched to CDs, and he has like a giant CD carousel thing that has like, the 100 disc changer or whatever. So he asked me if I wanted his record collection, and I'm like, heck yeah. So that being said, when I was going through those when I was a kid, looking at the records and stuff and making copies of that. I did actually copy the Black Sabbath Paranoid onto cassette, and I learned to play War Pigs. I learned Iron Man. I learned a bunch of different Tomi Iommi riffs and stuff from that, as well as others on the record. And so I was stoked to have this record, and of course, I still have my recording of the Paranoid record that eventually I burned it to CD from cassette, and then I eventually ripped it from CD to an MP3 just because I love that record, the vinyl analog sound. So anyways, I don't have the original recorded tape of Blizzard of Oz that my friend had made all those years ago. But I have the Black Sabbath Paranoid vinyl album that was my dad's original, and again, I assume in 1970 when it was released, and it's still in great shape after pretty much 5 decades. So it's older than me. So I'll just grab that real quick. All right, so here it is. I'll try to get by my mic here. Here it is in all of its glory. And you can see, we'll just open it up here. Try to get this on camera so you can see everything inside of the jacket here. All right. And the sleeve inside is just a generic Warner Brothers sleeve. So nothing real fancy. There's not like song lyrics or anything like that. And then inside, you'll see the original vinyl. Just put this back real quick, so bear with me. And so this album, this album of back in the day, this album's still in great shape for over 5 decades, and it brings me back, to the day, as I make the journey back to the artists that got me interested enough in music to want to learn to play music. And although I never decided to play music as a professional, it has been a lifelong hobby and something I continue to do for fun to this day. So here's to you, Ozzy. May you rest in peace, and thank you for being the person that sparked a lifelong passion and hobby, and as well as for many others as well. So thank you.